Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for tuning into Steelers Pre-Snap. I'm Luther Dupree, joined as always by the Hall of Famer, Claudio Rosano, Smokin Jim. I don't know what he's doing in parts unknown. How you doing, Jim? How you doing, Claudio?
All right. Good to see you guys always.
Good to see you as well. How you doing, Jim?
Doing good, Lou.
All right. Glad you up and moving about this morning. All right, we got Ralph. Good morning, guys. Good morning, Ralph. Great show yesterday, man. I enjoyed it.
12:50 a.m. 2 to 3. 12:50 a.m. The Answer 2 to 3 with Luther, Jim, myself, and of course Mr. Williams. Great show.
Yeah. Daddy Kingslayer. Good morning, Ralph. Hey, good morning, Daddy Kingslayer. Skywalker. Hey, good morning. Yeah, let's go Steelers. Hey, speaking of that, Claudia, what do you got for us as we review the last game against the Colts? I was wrong. What were your thoughts on that?
Well, I was right in the sense where I said the Steelers had to attack Richardson, because he was not accurate when he wasn't under attack. Now, he got hurt, really attacked Joe Flacco because he didn't have the maneuverability that a Richardson had. I was very surprised that the Steelers did not attack Flacco. Something I tell my players, my family, in life, you have to make adjustments in life. If it's hot out, you wear a t-shirt. If it's cold, you wear a jacket, right? If it's raining, you put up an umbrella. You make adjustments. The Steelers did not make adjustments against Flacco. He looked so, I know he's a veteran and all that. He looked so cool and calm back there. He was just looking around and hitting open spots, no pressure, no nothing. The team was flat, which I will get to in my huddle up. But I was very disappointed. I blame, and for me to blame coaches, I'm a little biased. I'm a coach. I blame the coaching staff, not for, and I'll get to the huddle up in a second, but I blame the coaching staff for not making adjustments.
Okay. Yeah, I was clearly wrong. I had the Steelers winning that one. I think I said 27-10. I was completely wrong. I didn't think they start off 17-0. That was a big shock to me, Claudio. So I take it. The defense definitely wasn't prepared. And as I said on Sports Corner, man, I saw Terrell Edmonds running around in the backfield, and he's in there, and mistakes happen again. I'm not saying it was all his fault, but the defense looks great. Before he got there, he gets there. We had the worst defensive outing of the year. So I'm just looking at signs. Hopefully they're a lot better against Dallas. Smokin Jim, what do you have as we review this game?
Hey, thanks, Lou. I apologize. I forgot to tell you and Claudio and Ralph that we flew in Norm Nixon into Pittsburgh last night or over the weekend, and we celebrated him last night. And I tell you what, Lou, Norm Nixon looked like he could still play. He hasn't aged a minute. I asked him where was Debbie Allen. That's where I really wanted to show up. But hey, man, just to be able to see a guy, former first-round draft choice at LA Lakers and a two-time world champion before Magic sent him off because Magic wanted to play point guard. But hey, I wasn't surprised, Lou. I know you were wrong. I told you guys last week that I thought Indianapolis had one of the better offenses in the National Football League in terms of talent. I tell you what, man, Jody Porter started to get exposed. He's giving up a touchdown every game, seemed like, and he's getting a penalty every game. And I thought that the running game that Indianapolis had was going to present some problems. But you can't win them all in the National Football League, Lou. You know that. Only one team has done that, and that was the 72 Dolphins, and they won it on the back of the steel curtain Pittsburgh Steelers defense. But, hey, listen, man, it was a good game. The offense almost came back, and because sometimes when your defense is not playing well, your offense or your special teams got to pick it up, and the Steelers came up a little bit short, so I was not surprised.
Hey, but you say that, Jim, but one thing I was impressed with was finally they took the reins off Justin Fields. He made some improvements. He was running on with his legs, made some great passes. And Claudio, I got to give you credit. You said get the ball to Darnell Washington. They did. He's stiff-arming guys, leaping over guys. We got to get him more involved, especially in the red zone. So that was a great call. I think I sent you a text as soon as I saw him get a couple passes. So hopefully they keep that up. But they opened the offense a little bit because they had to. And I think if they had done that at the beginning of the game, they might have won it. You know, the running game wasn't going. Patterson getting hurt, Warren getting hurt. They're both out again today. So they're going to have to make some adjustments. They brought up a practice squad player who actually was running was probably better than Najee in the few carries he had. So we'll see about that. But Claudio, real quick, what do you have for us in the huddle up?
A couple things, Luther, what you said, the Steeler offense picked up because they had to. Great line. Another great line from Jim was when offense isn't working, special teams or something else has to pick it up. He's exactly right. I always say if the catcher is good on the opposing team, maybe we can't steal. So we're going to have to hit and run. We're going to have to bunt. We just don't stay stationary. Back to my original point, you make adjustments. Huddle up. Now, everybody is blaming Mike Tomlin for this game, for the Steelers being flat because they're playing a lesser team. You always hear, well, when Tomlin plays a lesser team, the Steelers lose. I can almost guarantee you, I will guarantee you, Mike Tomlin treats a team that's 0-14 the same as he does a team that's 14-0. Guaranteed. A coach never goes into a game thinking, oh, man, we're going to kill him. As a matter of fact, he probably is worried even more. So I'm not going to blame Mike Tomlin at all for the team being flat. What would I do this week? I call in T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, maybe Freiermuth, I don't know, Pickens, Harris, and Fields in my office and say, look, you have to blame the players for being flat. You guys are the team leaders. They can't just hear my voice all the time. You guys have to say, hey, what the hell's going on here? You guys are flat. Turn it up a little bit. Okay? So that's what I would do for this week. And I'm expecting them prime time at home against the Dallas Cowboys. If you can't get up for a game like this, man, you're in trouble the rest of the season. But I will not blame Tomlin. I blame the coaching staff for not making adjustments. But I'm not going to blame Tomlin at all for the team being flat. You blame the team, and then you call in the team leaders and say, hey, if you see that, you have to, because Colts came out fired up right away. You have to put a stop to that right away.
I got you. I definitely agree with that. Smokin Jim, what you got for us?
I'm going to change my huddle up a little bit. I really disagree with Claudio because he makes great points.
Well, it's your 1st and 10, but all right.
It's my 1st and 10?
1st and 10 with Smokin Jim. Come on, Jim. What you smoking this morning?
Listen, Coach Tomlin gets a lot of passes up there because he's black. We make excuses for it. But he drafts these guys who don't have leadership capabilities. You know what I mean? You don't see a Nick Saban team losing to Vanderbilt like Alabama did last night because he pays attention to details and fundamentals all practice long. He stresses that in the offseason. The Coach Tomlin is not only does the Pittsburgh Steelers draft very poorly, but the locker room is a joke. Where's the leadership in the locker room? The coach should not, and I agree with Claudio here. Chuck Noll said, if I got to motivate you, I'll get rid of you. Bill Cowher came in and cut Huey Richardson, a top first-round pick. He's seen after 5 minutes that this guy couldn't play no football. But Coach Tomlin not only keeps a Terrell Edmonds, but brings him back. He drafts him in the 1st round. So I think that when you consistently underperform against inferior teams, that falls on not only the head coach, but the entire coaching staff. Bill Parcells did not yell at players in practice. He yelled at the coaches. He coaches the coaches. What does Coach Tomlin do? I caught him again looking at the big screen, the Jumbotron. He was coaching off the Jumbotron. Again, I thought he learned his bad habits, but it all falls on Coach Tomlin. And I love Coach Tomlin.
No,
He's
you
a Hall
don't.
of Fame coach. But hey, you got to call no pun intended, a spade a spade.
No pun intended, Jim. You always got a pun intended. Hey, listen, my prophetic thoughts last night. I think we saw the Heisman Trophy winner, Cam Ward, put on a show. They were down 25. You know, I've liked him since he was at Washington State. He just showed out, balled out, down 25, led his team back. I think the Heisman Trophy is his to lose. Not, they're 6-0. He's putting up passing numbers, running numbers. I have him as my number one player. I think he's going to get the Heisman. Remember, I've been calling the last three Smokin Jim pretty much correctly. I think this guy has it all. Miami is back in contention. I think they can win the ACC, and we see who's going to be leading them. Cam Johnson's that dude, and I think he's going to win the Heisman. My other thought is, can I finish my prophetic thoughts?
Let me just say
Damn,
this.
Jim.
Let me just say this. Everybody knows I got a Heisman vote and already voted for Deion Sanders, the quarterback.
Oh, come on, Jim. Now you like Shador. Before I thought you didn't like him. All right. You're all over the place, Jim. Anyway, now I don't know what I hate more, the targeting rule in college football or the new kickoff rule in the NFL. The targeting rule, unless it's something egregious like this guy jumps with his head trying to take a guy off. You know, yesterday the game was almost changed by a bogus targeting call against Miami. I'm glad they didn't call it. They let the play stand. It wasn't targeting. Unless a guy's jumping in the air like you see on the screen, you can't call it. And that NFL kickoff rule, they got to get rid of it. It's a disaster. I don't even know what it is. The players still don't know what it is. You know, one of my favorite plays was the kickoff return. You know, you see some big hits, or you see 100-yard return. Now they took that out of the game. They've taken the hard hits out of the game. As I said on Sports Corner yesterday, it's these rules. They keep changing it and making the game worse. This kickoff rule is another one. I hate it. I think I hate that rule more than the targeting rule, unless it's something like this. So those are my thoughts. Let's jump into the game. I did see something I wanted to hit on real quick. Daddy Kingslayer said it seemed to me that the Colts knew exactly what the Steelers were running in the first half. Yeah, they did. So did all of us. His playbook has been basic: Najee left, Najee right. Then it's 3rd and 6. The playbook was easy, and then he's looking for Carl Pickens. It was pretty much easy to decipher. Hopefully they open it up more. But yeah, definitely, Daddy Kingsley. I agree. They seemed like they knew exactly what they were going on. All right, we got Jason Thomas in here, and here go Lee. He says Thomas a cheerleader motivator. Come on, man. Claudio's right. Now, players' leadership. All right. All the kicks go into the end zone. Yeah, all the kicks are going into the end zone. All right, let's jump in this as we get ready to wrap up. Keep the comments coming. We're going to jump in and read your comments. All right, let's go. Smokin Jim, your thoughts. Steelers offense versus the Cowboys D. Who has the advantage and why?
Wow. I think that's a wash because the Cowboys got about 6 players injured.
So why is that a wash?
I think that makes it about even because the Steelers are starting like 4 rookies on the offensive line. The only one on the offensive line I have any confidence in, and the whole international football community has confidence in, is Dan Moore. So I would say that I would give that even Steven.
Oh goodness! All right, Jim. Let me correct that. They're not starting 4 rookies. They're starting 2 rookies. They're starting Zach Frazier at center, Mason McCormick at the right guard. Broderick Jones is in his 2nd year at right tackle. Isaac Siamalu is back at left guard, and Dan Moore is at left tackle. The guy you think is so great that every year they're trying to draft his replacement because he's out there catching penalties. Jim.
Can Isaac bench 185?
Hey, I know he's a dog in there. And we've missed him in the running game, and we're going to see the benefits of him.
He tore his pec, Lou.
He's back.
He's not going to be the same.
He's back. Jim, he's back.
Yeah. Physically, he's in uniform.
Jim, take your L. I think the Steelers offense will be able to run the ball against Dallas. No Micah Parsons, David Lawrence. He's on the IR. He's not going to be playing. They have quite a few injuries on that defense. Uh, uh, also Carson, their cornerback is questionable. Trayvon Diggs is questionable. They do have Malik Hooker from Newcastle, who's known to make some interceptions. So we got to keep an eye on him. But I definitely give us an advantage. The Steelers have a clear advantage. I think they'll be able to run the ball, and that'll be the difference this game. Claudio, your thoughts?
Couple things. Daddy Klingslayer is right about the Colts knowing what they were doing, the Steelers offense was doing. And I've been saying all along, everybody, Canada, and I'm not a fan of Canada's. I'm not a fan of Smith's either. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's not that much different. Just the actors have changed a little bit, but the play calling isn't that much better. And to Jim's point, again, he makes a great point. When you draft players, did they draft people that are going to have impact in the locker room? Great point, Jim. Now, as far as the offense is concerned, number one, let's stop the ridiculous comments about who's the starting quarterback. I've been saying all along Justin Fields should be the starting quarterback, and Jim properly worded it for me whenever he said his ability to run and move helps with the lack of a good offensive line, of a young offensive line. So Fields is number one. Number two, what you do offensively for the Steelers is open it up. You will be able to run the ball more because of the injuries. But then again, like Jim said, the offensive line isn't great either. So I think you throw the ball, maybe Harris, who something isn't right now with Harris. Maybe he's upset, whatever the case is. Use him out of the backfield. Justin Fields, have him run. Maybe even have some design plays, maybe. But I think his running ability is better when he goes back to pass and then takes off. Now, I'd like to see about 150 yards from both Harris, from the running game, from the Steelers, okay? But again, open it up, use all your weapons, and this way the Dallas defense doesn't know who to key on. And I say that every week. I think that's incredibly important. But I'm going to say it's even because of the injuries and execution. And
Politicians out here. All right. Now it's even. All right. Let's jump in here. Open Door Moore. Prof has a name for him. Open Door Moore. I like that. Jason Thomas. Here y'all go blaming Tomlin. Stop the BS. Jim on that stuff early. Come on, let's keep it clean, Jason. All right. Russell Clipboard Wilson. Lee, you don't like Wilson? Let that man dress. He's the emergency quarterback. Offense showed signs, Jim. All right. Lee says bring Todd Haley back or hire a Shanahan. Yeah, Shanahan's have won something recently. Terry French, I don't think Justin is comfortable under center. Huh. All right. Appreciate all the comments coming in. Let's jump in. Claudio, Steelers D versus the Cowboys offense. What's your thoughts?
Real quick, Dallas only allowed, I think, 1.5 yards a carry last week against the Giants. Or whenever they played the Giants. So, I mean, their defense isn't that bad. But offense, or back to real quick, they didn't do well against Lamar Jackson, the Dallas defense. And Lamar likes to run. Have Justin Fields run. Now, the defense, they have to put pressure on Dak Prescott. Last week, I believe they have a stat. They only pressured Prescott 18% of the time. So he had time to go back there. He's a veteran. He's going to look around. He's great during the regular season. He hits his targets. I do think that the wide receivers from Dallas are a little bit underrated with Lamb, Cook, and the other guy. I forgot his name. And I like their tight end, Jake Ferguson. I think he's going to have a big game. But the run
is out. Brandon Cooks is on the IR from what I'm looking at.
Okay. Well, they have another wide receiver that isn't too bad who I like. Colbert. His name is. But anyway, look for Jake Ferguson to have a big game, and look for Dowdell, the running back, to have. If Dowdell can Dowdell, however way you pronounce it, if he can get 60 yards, we need Harris. Steelers need Harris and Justin Fields to have 150, in my opinion. Dallas, if they get 60 yards rushing with Dak back there hitting his targets, I think Dallas offense is going to be tough to beat. Now, the Steelers defense, they're going to be all fired up. Can they be fired up for 4 quarters? And, I'm going to say something that people aren't going to like, especially Jim. Watt is a Hall of Famer. He's great, but I think he's overrated.
Oh,
He's
man.
I've said this. And again, people are going to take this the wrong way. That's fine. He's Dave Kingman. Dave Kingman in baseball terms used to hit about 225, but he'd hit about 42 home runs a year. Watt is a splash player, no doubt. And he may make some splash plays tonight, but consistent. A Randy Gradishar, a Jack Lambert, Andy Russell, those guys, Isaiah Roberts, guys like that, Hacksaw Reynolds, Dick Butkus. Okay, we can go on and on. Lawrence Taylor, every play, consistent. They were always on the field. What? Hall of Famer? He's up for contention for the Defensive Player of the Year, no doubt, but he never wins it, but that's okay. I just think that that's him. Overall team, they're going to have to pressure Dak. This way, they won't allow Dell to get 60 yards rushing. Put all the pressure on, again on Dak and stop the run. But all they need is 60 yards from Dell and pressure Dak Prescott. Who am I going to give the? I'm going to give the edge to the Steeler defense because it's home, because they'll be fired up. Now, will they be able to do it 4 quarters? I don't know.
All right. I'm going to do mine short and quick. I think the Steelers D obviously has an advantage over the Cowboys offense. They haven't been able to run the ball all year. Dak Prescott puts up great numbers in the regular season, but he's limited. He has CeeDee Lamb. I don't think Ferguson is going to have a big game. I think Patrick Queen is going to, do a decent job of covering the tight ends, closing off the middle. And, they have the NFL, the MVP from the Arena League, the Semi-Pro League, Cavante Turbin playing the opposite receiver. Brandon Cooks is out. I'm not impressed with their rookies. Enrico Dowdle and Zeke Elliott, I'm not impressed with those guys at all. I don't think they're going to hurt us. I think we'll be able to stop them pretty easily. Smokin Jim, what you got for us? Steelers D versus Cowboys O.
I think you and Claudio covered it very, very nicely. I would say this. I believe for the Steelers to win the game, they're going to have to score 52. I think Dak Prescott is going to throw for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, in order to win, I think the tight end Ferguson, who is Barry Alvarez's grandson, is going to have a breakout game. He's a pretty good tight end and very underrated. I don't know why he's not getting a little bit more press than he is, but he's a good tight end, and I'm sure the Steelers won't be prepared for him because they have a coach that don't prepare them very well.
Here you go. But
it's hard to win at home. Coach Howard told me one time that his goal is to go 6-2 at home and 4-4 on the road. I didn't like it when he said it, but that's 11-5. And that was always their goal, is to get in the playoffs and win the division. So the Pittsburgh Steelers got to find a way to win at home, and the way that you have to win is 52 points.
52 points. Wow. All right, chill. 52 points. All right, listen. Let's go back to some of the comments. A lot of people have a lot of stuff to say here. And one of them, Dak is whack. He got his money in his trash quarterback. Lee Sierra will have to go on tour. Claudio is smoking too. Watt is not overrated. Drug test these cats, Luther. Luther, welcome to the show. Appreciate that, Ralph. Glad to be a part of it. Steelers 24, Cowboys 14. All right, Terry, we have to get out to a fast start, period. Matt Canada, right. This team is not built to come back from a deficit. Yeah, you're right. I don't think our offense is built to come back, but we showed when we need to put points on the board, we were able to put points on the board. So that was impressive. Like I said, you have to come out with an aggressive mindset. Sitting back, running Najee, the same old is not going to work. Open it up a little bit. I'd like to see other receivers get more targets. I'm not seeing a lot of separation from Van Jefferson and also Calvin Austin 3, but I'd like to see Scotty Miller get some more looks as well. I think him and Austin, when they were in there, they were better. Van Jefferson just doesn't have it. there's a lot of rumors about Devontae Adams coming in. Claudio, well, actually, Jim, do you think they can make a move? Do you think that's a possibility that we could get Devontae Adams or another receiver? Cohen is a magic man. I think he will upgrade that position. They were in on Brandon Ayuk, but it fell through, and it might have been a blessing in disguise because the 49ers are looking for more from him since Deebo Samuels is hurt, Christian McCaffrey's hurt, and he's not getting the job done. So what do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, just continue to bring in cancer after cancer after cancer. Under Coach Tomlin, you had some of the worst locker rooms in the history of organized sports, and you bringing in Devontae Adams. That's just bringing in cancer, man, and it's going to spread. Listen, I wouldn't bring. And Devontae's he's got all the talent in the world, but I would not bring that guy in, man, for league minimum. He's a cancer. He would be okay for maybe 10 days to a week, and no way. I like, again, Van Jefferson will prove you wrong, Lou. Like you said, you've been saying the last 2 weeks you've been wrong, and you're going to say it again with Van Jefferson. And I agree with you about Scotty Miller. I don't know why they don't throw to a little white boy. That boy can play, man. That boy can play.
Leave Jim to put that.
I like our number 2 receivers, always have, and when Roman Wilson comes, he's going to make a believer out of you as well.
All right. Jason Thomas, Jim is the new Jason Whitlock, just hates black coaches. Disgusting. Lee, Tomlin's style has played out. All right. Cohen was a sucker the way Brandon Ayuk used the Steelers. Yes, we need another receiver. Devontae Adams would definitely be an upgrade. All right. 4 games in, and Najee has yet to break 100 yards. Why is Patterson even near, really? Well, Patterson's hurt, and so is Warren. So we have the practice squad player that we just brought up. So we have to see how that goes. Well, let's get to the game predictions. Actually, the running back, Aaron Shamklin. What do you think about him, Jim? Any thoughts? Because Daddy Kingslayer is going in on Najee again, has yet to break 100 yards. What do you think? You think he could help us? He's going to get a lot of carries today because, Patterson's out with an ankle. Warren's out with a knee injury.
Hey, listen, Najee, he got his arm in the sling. He's banged up.
More excuses.
More excuses. As the season goes on, he'll have another high impact season over 1,000 yards, and lead the Steelers maybe to the playoffs. Hey, listen, the guy's a practice squad bum. The only guy that got on the practice squad that's any good is Ward. Ward proved in preseason that he could play, and I don't know why Coach Tomlin. I got to look it up and see where he's from. Maybe that's another guy that Coach Tomlin used to date his mama back in the days, because I don't know why this guy's on the team.
All right. Claudio, let's get some. All right, let's jump into these comments real quick. Lee, Boswell won the game. All right. Similar to run for 200. Ralph. Terry, 24-21 Steelers. Frank Jackson, Najee is trash, slow as. All right. Listen, man, I was really high on Najee, but he is what he is. There's a reason the Steelers didn't bring him back for the 5th-year option. His vision's not good. I might take Stevie Wonder's vision before Najee. He misses holes clearly. He's not getting the job done. And we're going to see a difference. We might have the practice squad player that you said is a bum. He might run for as many yards as Najee if he gets that many carries. I'm off him. Right now, he's not showing leadership off the field or on the field. His press conferences have really been kind of nasty when people ask him about leadership. For Justin Fields, he goes off on the deep end. Really disappointed. Let's jump back in here. Boss, 6 field goals. Cowboys 27, Steelers 25. All right, Lee. All right, looks like we lost Jim again. Hopefully he calls back in. Coaching advantage. Claudio, who do you have for the coaching advantage?
Before I say that, Jim is 3,000% right about bringing Adams in. It's not going to work. You can't bring him in. And you're right about using Miller more. As far as coaching advantage, coaching staff, I'm not high on the Steelers coaching staff. I'm just not. And I agree with Lee in a lot of things that he says, and including the field goal kicking aspect of it. But anyway, I'm going to give the Cowboys the advantage coaching wise, and I think they are going to be a little more creative tonight than the Steelers. So I'm going to give the coaching advantage to the Cowboys.
Okay. Jim, I don't know what happened to Jim. His phone must have ran out of juice. You know, those Obama phones don't last long. So, Jim, we got to upgrade your phone, man. I'm giving it. You say?
Jim
Yeah,
just
he just disappears. 8:30, it just shuts off. Coaching advantage, I'm going to give it to Tomlin. I think and staff, Terrell Austin, Arthur Smith. Listen, Dallas's coaching staff might be fired at the end of this year. You know, they lose this game. They have a lot of injuries. Dak hasn't won in the postseason. They may not get there the way they're going. Washington's better than them in their division. Philadelphia is better than them in their division. So I don't know where to go. The only team they can beat is the New York Giants, and they barely beat them. So I give the coaching advantage to Mike Tomlin and crew. Game prediction, I'm going, as I said on Sports Corner yesterday, I'm going to stick with the same score, 28-14. I think the Steelers can win this game. I think we'll be able to put up enough points. I think we'll be able to run the ball. Najee can get maybe 60, 70 yards. And Aaron, I think he can get about, another 60 yards. So I think we'll be okay there. Let's jump into the comments real quick. Lee, Claudio's right. Cowboys will be creative. Larry Brown, 2 interceptions. How many times you going to put that in there, Lee? All right. Real quick before we get out of here, sit or start. Claudio, let me hit you real quick. How about Justin Fields? Where do you think Justin Fields, sit or start him?
370 yards last week, about 367 to be exact. Justin Fields is your starting quarterback. He's a weapon. He's dangerous. Start him.
Yeah, I think start him. He showed some signs. Hopefully that means they're going to let him loose a little bit. I say start him as well. How about Dak Prescott? You see him having a good game.
I do.
Prime time game. He kind of folds the bigger the game is.
Yeah, you're right. But I think he can be Mr. October, which you don't want in football so much. But I think,
like that.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. I start him.
All right, you're starting. How about let's do a running back? Rico Dowdle wearing that number 23 as a running back. What do you think?
Luther, for some reason, and this is just, I always say it, hunch, opinion, or fact. I'm going to go with a hunch. I think he's going to have 60 yards plus. He's going to be talked about a lot tonight. But I don't know if 60 yards is going to be enough to start him. It'll be enough to help them win, but I don't know if I'd start him for fantasy football.
Yeah,
No.
I think I'm sitting him as well. Definitely don't think he's going to have a big game. Running game for Dallas Cowboys hasn't been there all year. I don't think it starts tonight. How about Najee? You always are high on Najee.
I am, but what bothered me was his comments. I thought, and he's human, and I get it, but at the same time, you have 2 ways to look at this not being offered a contract. Either I'm going to show them, okay, I have a cause, I'm going to show them, or I'm going to be upset and not show them, just kind of be mad. Because of the injuries and the Dallas defense, and I did say start him, throw to him in the backfield, so he's a double weapon. I'm going to say start him.
Yeah, as much as I was off on Najee, I say start him this game. I think they'll be able to run against Dallas. Dallas hasn't been able to stop the run all year. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson ran for 300 yards on those guys. Henry had 200 yards himself. So if Najee can't get 100, he's even worse than I thought. Their holes will be there. He'll be, if he can get to him in time, he can have 100 yards and a couple touchdowns. Dallas's defense is one of the worst I've seen in the NFL this year. Jason Thomas sit that bum. Wow, a lot of people are off him, Claudio. All right. Lee, Najee is acting like Barry Bonds. How's he acting like Barry Bonds? Lee, come out your mind, Lee. How is he acting like Barry Bonds? Barry, where's his MVPs? Where's him leading the league to the postseason and doing things there? Stop it, Lee. Don't Najee and Barry Bonds have no business in the same sentence. Let me get that off of there, man. Dak will turn the ball over. I definitely agree with that. Let's look at one more. The receiving corps, CeeDee Lamb. Claudio, what you think he's going to do? Sit or start him?
He's their number one. You got to start him. He's big time, and he can break tackles, yards after catch. I think he's going to have a nice game tonight. Some nice numbers.
I say start him too. Dak looks for him. He throws the ball to him quite a bit. And how about Pickens, the last one, as we get ready to wrap it up? Pickens, sit or start, Claudio?
You have to start him too because he's the same as CeeDee Lamb. He's their number one, and he's a splash play guy. I say you start him.
I say start him. We know Justin Fields is going to throw to him 10 times a game. Hopefully they don't call any touchdowns, this time. Broderick Jones and Pickens probably had some arguments in the locker room because 2 touchdowns and about 100 yards of receiving were taken away because of Broderick Jones penalties or personal fouls or missed blocks. So I say start him. He's going to get his looks. Well, Claudio, man, once again, appreciate you. Great show. Thank all the guests, all the comments for coming in. And I'm looking for a great show, a great game. Claudio, we got prime time. And did you give a prediction on your score, Claudio?
Dallas 29, Pittsburgh 24. A lot of field goals tonight, too. You have the best field goal kicker in the game and probably the second best with Dallas's kicker, Aubrey. What the heck's his last name? I'm losing my mind.
Yeah, they have a great kicker as well. So we'll see. Listen, I'm going to stick with my prediction. I'm going to say 28-14. Steelers win. I think we're going to be able to run the ball, control the clock, and I think that's going to be the key for us.
Jim's 52 points.
Yeah, Jim. What do you say? 52-48. They got to outscore them. Come on, Jim just throwing out all kind of arena score numbers. Come on, Jim. Hey, but once again, man, Claudio, it's always good doing the games with you.
You too, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, Brandon Aubrey's his name. That's what I was looking for. All right, Claudio, I'll talk to you, man. Thank you guys for the calls. We'll check you out next time. Enjoy the game. Peace.